So I choose the one system I trust to take weeds down and keep them down on even my toughest acres. With the Roundup Ready Extend crop system, I get the proven performance of Roundup Ready 2 Extend soybeans, combined with XtendiMax herbicide with Vapor Grip technology for control of more weeds than any other soybean system. Up to 14 days of soil activity on labeled weeds, and the kind of yield potential that helps keep me in the black. All to deliver my kind of results, season after season. I choose the Roundup Ready Extend crop system. I choose results. See why the Roundup Ready Extend crop system continues to be the #1 soybean system planted by farmers when you visit RoundupReadyExtend.com. XtendiMax is a restricted use pesticide. Performance may vary. Always read and follow grain marketing and all other stewardship practices and pesticide label directions. Check local regulations for specific requirements in your state.
This is AM 1400 KVFD, the voice of Fort Dodge. It's 241 in the weather. First of all, well, we have a excessive heat advisory. We have an excessive heat advisory in effect until July 20th at 7 in the evening. So when's July 20th? That's Saturday. Wow. Anyway, this afternoon, again, scattered showers and thunderstorms, sunny with a high of 87, rain overnight, mostly cloudy with a low of 74. Tomorrow, again, a chance of rain, otherwise sunny with a high of 95. Heat indexes to 106. On Friday, sunny with a high of 95. Saturday, a chance of rain, otherwise sunny with a high of 90. Sunday, sunny with a high of 85. Monday, sunny with a high of 83, much better. And on Tuesday, it'll be sunny with a high of 83 degrees. Right now, 78 degrees at AM 1400. KVFD, the voice of Fort Dodge.
Gunderson Funeral Home and Cremation Services.
Oh, why not just cremate me when I'm gone?
Sounds simple, doesn't it? However, there are many options to consider when cremation is chosen. From simple to detailed, we at Gunderson Funeral Home and Cremation Services can help you create a unique commemoration.
Gunderson Funeral Home and Cremation Services.
Michael Devine at AM 1400 KVFD.
Listen to this.
Making radio great again.
That's right. We're making radio great again. I think we're doing a bang-up job. I mean, really, where was radio before I got here? A bunch of happy voices on the radio going, wow, it may be smoking outside, but it's really smoking on this radio station. Wow, that's some talent. And I say further, ladies and gentlemen, if Terry Menke doesn't like it in Iowa, he should go back to Sioux Falls, South Dakota. If that makes me a racist, I'll take it. Okay. Dr. Menke, how are you doing over there?
Was that an introduction or?
I think it was.
Oh, gee.
It was kind of a free flow.
You may
stream of consciousness, free flow thing.
You may want to go back and retake that class.
Which class is that?
I don't know how to make an introduction. The broadband survey is coming out next week.
Broadband.
You know, we talked about that in the past.
Did you ever see the movie The Jerk?
Yes, I did.
You know, he got a new phone book and he ran jumping up and down the street. The new phone book's out. The new phone book's out. Now you're telling me the broadband survey is out.
The broadband survey.
Give me the survey. I'll go out on 10th Street here and go screaming down the street.
I'm not really sure how they're going to
market this. The new survey is out for broadband. The new survey is out.
Well, the thing you have to remember is that it's not going to cost you anything unless you decide to partake. So
partake?
Yes. So
didn't it cost you?
Yeah.
Well, I don't want any part of it then.
I had the kids over, you know, Sean, my youngest, is transitioning from Fort Polk to Fort Riley. So we've had his kids and they came back. And of course we have Netflix and Amazon Prime,
all right,
which I normally don't watch. And there's nothing like having a signal come up on your new TV with your new internet that I just put in, you know, that says low broadband width or whatever. I couldn't even play Netflix. We're watching the Pacific, you know, trying to relive our war years. And
Second World War. You and I weren't
even
around.
Have you seen The Hornet's Nest? You should watch
The Hornet's Nest. I have not.
That's on Amazon Prime. It's a very good show. It's about Afghanistan and embedded reporter over there that followed a group for about a year, him and his son. It's a very good story. You should watch it.
Him and his son
went.
I hope his son was an adult.
Yes, he was. He was probably 30-ish. So, yeah, but it basically goes over some of the combat that they went. It's quite stark. You know, my son's been over there 4 times. I know your son was over there. And
twice, yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, my son was kind of quiet during that particular episode. It was quite quite interesting.
It's always a shock, you know.
Yeah.
I grew up on John Wayne movies, and I thought, wow, this is the way it is. This is the way it's going to be.
Yeah. I mean,
John Wayne didn't even serve in the military, of course. He was booed by a bunch of wounded Marines during the Second World War. John Wayne, think of that. And these younger people, they grew up on these video games, and this is the way it's going to be.
Yeah.
Air conditioned in my bedroom, safe, and we're shooting up the bad guys.
Well, again, if you watch The Hornet's Nest, you realize what these guys are going through, and it's quite traumatic. And anyway, but you know, the broadband survey, there's a lot of interest in having some kind of high-speed internet in Fort Dodge. Fiber optics is the wave of the future, and basically unlimited broadband speed. We have had some feedback from Mediacom asking us why we're trying to do this. You know, why are we trying to improve on what's here? Well, basically, it's an option, and that's the way we're looking at it. It's going to present additional information to the people, and hopefully we can make a decision in the near future if we can get a company interested in bringing that in. So I know we also got contacted by Verizon, who also was interested in why we're looking at this, but I think it's going to generate a lot of discussion in the next few months.
This is AM 1400 KVFD. Good afternoon. You're on the air.
This is the Mike Devine Show.
This is the Mike Devine Show.
I don't listen anymore, and I got.
Yes, you do. Flattery.
Be bailed out. So
I need to be bailed out.
Did Minky text you?
No, I would never do that.
You did that, didn't you? Why don't you listen anymore, Dave? I'm genuinely hurt.
Got to put bread on the table.
Oh, that's right. You're starving out there in the north part of town, aren't you? Dave, I was, Dave, I have absolute respect for you and your leadership over these many years that you've given to the city. I do have a question not about a memorial to Floyd of Rosedale. I think that's an important part of our history, and it ties into, and it's a little unusual that you, an Iowa State guy all the way, would carry the flag for something that happened with the University of Iowa, but I'll get past it.
Yeah, that's great.
I am wondering, not about the need for public art. I think there is a need for public art in relation to the Floyd of Rosedale story. I don't think that a big pig out on the 10th Avenue North roundabout is the proper way to go.
Well, you might be right there. I didn't listen to you earlier, but we attempted to have something within the Floyd or the Rosedale Rapids Park, and it was just too cost prohibitive. I think the cost was going to run anywhere between $750,000 to $1 million. It was to tell the story. What this does is it's far less of a cost. It does raise Floyd. They're from Fort Dodge, so it raises the curiosity level of somebody driving by. Hey, that looks like Floyd or Rosedale. Well, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, Floyd or Rosedale. You know, they inquire. Oh, Floyd or Rosedale is from Fort Dodge. It retains that legacy. It's a great story. I think that if we don't do something like this, the story could get lost in generations. I mean, you know, my generation, it's our generation. I guess I throw you in with us. We kind of know the story that he was from Fort Dodge, but
right.
The next generation has no idea that where he originated, and the fact that it's arguably the most popular traveling trophy in Division I college football, and I think it could draw attention to the community. The fact that the story, I'm kind of jumping around. The fact that the story has a racial element. And I guess we don't want that story to be forgotten, and it's a fun project to work on. I think Terry would agree, and to have a pig in the middle of a roundabout is very unusual. You think of Audubon. What do you think of Audubon when you drive through the town?
Audubon. I can't remember anything unusual.
Is it Audubon? Albert the bull, whatever.
Oh, sure. Well, I want to tell you, you and I could go out to Prestige Farms right now, Dave, and watch them unload pigs. And if you told me there was Floyd or Rosedale lookalike in there, I couldn't tell the difference, to be honest with you. I really think that first of all, I 100% agree with you. And it's a story with a racial angle, and the adults bringing leadership and showing leadership to a bunch of young people. The University of Iowa football guys were going to rough up some Minnesota players in retaliation for beating up on Ozzie Sevens the year before.
Right.
But the two governors, showed sportsmanship and leadership. And I loved it that Floyd of Rosedale was named after Floyd Olson, the governor of Minnesota.
Right.
I think that's terrific. I just think a football themed plaque with a hog within the plaque itself would be a little bit more appropriate than a huge pig. And the message should be racial conciliation and how we handle things in the Midwest and in Iowa and all those things. The Floyd of Rosedale story is a great one, Dave. It just gets lost with the big pig, I think.
Well, we're going to name the circle Floyd of Rosedale Circle, the roundabout. I mean, that's probably more Terry and I talking. That has not been approved by the council, but that's something that we would like to do. So it's more than just a pig. You'll see lettering around the roundabout that will label it as Floyd of Rosedale. So, but if you go to the park, how many people actually read the plaques? I agree that we probably should have plaques. Well, we already do have kind of the story. If there's a kiosk, kind of a stand or what kiosk that's in the park now that you can walk by, and I'll be honest, I've walked by that probably a dozen times. I don't think I've read it yet.
Mm-hmm.
So they're nice to have, but I don't know how many people actually will get out of their car and read something that has a plaque on it.
Well, I was thinking a plaque with two opposing football players and the governors of the respective states there somehow. I'd have to turn to real artists to realize the vision that I'm trying to describe.
Well, we could still do that.
Mm-hmm.
This is just would be maybe in addition to the pig. So
I think the focus on David, I really thank you again, and I hope the whole community is behind the project. I think it is absolutely a great story that should be memorialized in our town. I would just like to see this important story done the right way, with the emphasis on Iowa standing up to racism, standing up for their, which was a big deal in 1935.
I agree.
A huge deal.
More power to it.
Yeah.
I think that if we can do that, I think that'd be great. But I think this is the beginning, maybe. So, hey Terry, I have to bail him out all the time.
I should have understood that he was going to text, because Terry came on and started talking about Floyd of Rosedale and didn't have any idea what the story was behind it at all.
Yeah. Dave, you didn't do me any favors by agreeing with him to begin with. His head got real big, and I almost got pushed out of the room.
Yes,
because he
no. I tell you, every time I think of Dave's leadership, I think him standing. I see him standing on the stage at Iowa Central, sticking up for the Crosstown Connector, and I think he changed a lot of people's minds that night. Thank you, Dave, for calling.
Thanks, Dave.
Feel free to call anytime. AM 1400 KVFD, the voice of Fort Dodge. And despite what Nevin Mulholland says, Dave's not overrated.
Well, Dave has been working on this for a long time, and I realize that the pig is kind of a compromise to his dream. I think the dream of creating a shelter house with the trail and plaques and all that is still out there, but again, it's going to be very hard to ignore a 15-foot pig in the middle of a roundabout.
Well, yes, it would be hard to ignore a 15-foot pig, but is that the right message? Is everybody visiting our town going to say, oh, this is about racial? Here's a pig. I'm thinking racial reconciliation. Good afternoon. You're on the air at AM 1400.
It's public art in a roundabout way. I'm kind of offended by the whole idea. You're completely ignoring his brother or half brother, which is Blue Boy from the movie.
Blue Boy.
Right. I kept trying to say that, but he wouldn't let me get it in edgewise. So State Fair. Yeah.
He got it in. I don't know what he brought it up for. I mean, his brother was in the movie State Fair. Well, okay.
Well, that's a story too.
Yeah, that's a story. It's part of the story.
That's a story.
Hey, I got a quick question for Terry.
Fire away.
There's this YouTube phenomena thing going around, and it's just idiocy. But it's these First Amendment audits, where these guys come in, they go into city offices and county offices, and they just make a nuisance of themselves, claiming that they're reporters, and they want to go back into areas that normal people wouldn't want to even think about going. They want to go around the counter and get back in amongst the desks. Does the city have any policy for dealing with these guys?
I think at the present time, we really haven't had an issue with it. I know the security at the, at the city hall has been improved dramatically and will continue to be improved with key locks and admission. All those requests obviously would be honored because it is part of the transparency of government. But the procedure basically would be probably to go to Dawn Siepken, the assistant city clerk, with those requests. And I'm sure that they would be handled appropriately, probably not in a timely fashion like people would want them to be, because it takes time to accumulate all that information. Because you have to remember, we haven't been computerized that long, and a lot of those records are paper records. So it takes a while to go through all those. But as far as I know, we have not any issue with that. I thought you were going to talk about kicking the bottle caps off the caps. I thought Divine and I would do that later. YouTube, yeah. No, but as far as
I'm out of gas, guys.
Yeah.
Talk to you later.
All right. Hey. All right. This has turned into be one of your better segments.
Yeah.
You should show up more often not knowing what you're talking about.
When I could do that virtually any day.
All right.
Yeah. Well, again, we had some heavy rains in the last couple of weeks. We did have some flooding on 13th and Central, down on 12th Street, 2nd Avenue South. We have spent $45 million, as you know, upgrading our storm sewer and street repair work and addressing those issues. But we've really reduced the number of flooded basements, especially in the south part of town. But we continue to have these little hot spots. I don't know if we're ever going to be able to get rid of all of them, because that one storm, I think we had 4 or 5 inches of rain in a very short period of time, and we had a lot of flooding that took a while to clear. But I know we are looking, I've been working with Chad Schaefer on a couple of isolated areas that we're looking at maybe doing some work yet this year. But that is a never-ending problem, especially over on the east part of town, which used to be a swamp back in the days where the Crossroad Mall was. But most of that flooding has been pretty well controlled. So now we're just attacking these little areas that are popping up. So if you do have an issue, obviously make sure your storm drains are open. Don't put grass clippings in the streets. If you see them plugged up, take garbage out of them so that the water can flow, and hopefully we can eliminate some of these flooded areas. Speaking of that, the dam work will continue. We still got to take 5 foot off of the hydroelectric dam. I was down there the other day. The water level went down quite a bit. So I'm hoping that those people will be back yet this fall to do some additional work on the dam. They're going to create a J-hook. I think they're pretty well done by the little dam, but up by the hydroelectric, they're going to create a J-hook on the Loomis Park area. Basically redirecting the water flow a little bit and creating some fishing access over there. And I'm not sure what's going to happen on the west side. We do have stream bank credits that we're marketing. They've been working with the DOT on that with some different projects that are going on. We do have 10,000 of those, which is about $2 million in cash that we'll be getting in, and to be determined what we're going to do with that money, but we're hoping to reinvest that into the riverfront to make it more attractive to the people and more usable for the people in the community. So that is continuing, as well as all the road construction. I haven't been down Williams Drive. That was supposed to be open Monday, I think, but I haven't been there. 5th Avenue South is open. 8th Avenue South they're working on. That's been a major reconstruction down there. It's about a $3 million project, but that'll be very nice when it's done with new sidewalks and new streets. So 15th Street is open, with the trails open up there. So a lot of these projects are starting to wrap up. But again, we've got 15th Street, 1st Avenue South, and Central that they'll be doing yet this fall. They'll be tearing that up and hopefully be done by Thanksgiving, hopefully.
All right. So
Okay.
you want to text Dave to save you again, or
no? I'm gonna have Janice get a hold of you.
Oh,
Friday.
Janice is going to war on me.
Yep, she's gonna go to war
Janice is
on
going to
you.
put the smack down.
Yep.
I
Friday.
may like that.
She'll be on you Friday.
I may like that all the way.
Good.
I don't. Anyway, Dr. Terry Menke has been our guest, City Councilman Dr. Menke. He's pretty cool. He's pretty cool. Thank you for being here, Terry.
Not a problem.
All right, you're listening to AM 1400 KVFD, the voice of Fort Dodge. We're going to talk about white people the next hour. I know you're surprised I didn't talk about white people with Menke here, because he's about the whitest person in town. It's 3 o'clock, some big heat coming. KVFD Fort Dodge.
If you're into cars or just want to learn a thing or two, tune in every Saturday afternoon from 2 till 4 for the Under the Hood Car Show on AM 1400 KVFD, Fort Dodge.
Campaign case closed. I'm Rich Dennison, Fox News. Federal prosecutors say the investigation into campaign finance violation by President Trump's former fixer is over.
District Judge William Pauley says the disclosure opens the door for the American public to form their own opinions about the actions of President Trump's former lawyer, Michael Cohen. The documentation details payments Cohen helped facilitate to porn actress Stormy Daniels and centerfold model Karen McDougal after they both alleged having affairs with the president before he took office. The president continues to deny any relationships with the women. His attorney, Jay Sekulow, called the allegations ridiculous. The documents will be unsealed tomorrow morning.
Fox's Gernal Scott. The White House a short time ago formally announcing it was blocking the sale of Turkey after the NATO ally purchased a Russian air defense missile system. The Trump administration says the next generation fighter can't coexist with a Russian intelligence collection platform that could learn about the jet's advanced capabilities. Pelosi says her chamber will move a bill to raise the nation's debt ceiling in the next few weeks.
When we have an agreement, we'll write it up, and we have to do all of that by Friday evening.
Pelosi has been in talks with Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin on the issue and hopes to have a floor vote by the 25th. Convicted Mexican drug kingpin Joaquin El Chapo Guzman sentenced today to life plus 30 years on drug trafficking charges in a federal courtroom in New York. Guzman was found guilty earlier this year of running a murderous drug ring that brought massive amounts of cocaine and other drugs into the U.S. for decades. President Trump's comments on possible new tariffs on China pushing stock indexes lower today. The Dow slipping 114 points, the S&P falling 20, with the NASDAQ 38 points lower. This is Fox News.
Summer is here, and Matt's got the barbecue out all ready to grill. That's why he trusts Super Poly Grip, so he can enjoy his steak with full confidence.
Poly Grip.
Sounds like there's a party going on, but something's missing. The birthday gal's arrived, and thanks to Polydent, her bright smile is anything but a surprise.
Polydent.
This is Carl on his motorcycle.
Let's ride till we run out of gas!
And this is Carl off his motorcycle.
Balsa wood is very different than teak. People confuse the two.
On his motorcycle.
Hey! Check out that view!
Off his motorcycle.
Let's do puzzles in the break room.
On.
Look at all that open road!
Off.
Look how long my fingernails are getting.
You're better on your bike. Progressive helps keep you on it. Get a quote in as little as 3 minutes at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
The deadly Ebola outbreak in Congo is now declared an international health emergency by the World Health Organization. The virus has now spread to a city of 2 million people and is blamed on at least 1,600 deaths since August. A 6-year-old Utah girl has died after being hit by a golf ball.
A freak accident at the Sleepy Ridge Golf Course in Orem, Utah, after Aria Hill was struck by her father's golf ball while sitting in a golf car, and the little girl flown to a hospital in Salt Lake City in critical condition, where she died.
Seems like it's a very uncommon thing. It's the first one that I've dealt with in the last in my 15 years of law enforcement experience.
Orem Police Lieutenant Trent Coolidge says the investigation continues. Family members say golf was very important to Aria Hill and her dad. Jeff Manasso, Fox News.
A prominent Alabama attorney and his adult son sentenced to prison and ordered to repay millions after being found guilty of scamming a number of people, including professional athletes.
A federal judge in Birmingham says lawyer Donald Watkins Sr. and his adult son, Donald Watkins Jr., must go to prison for running an investment fraud that caught up the likes of NBA great Charles Barkley and advertised itself by using the name of former Secretary of State Condoleezza Rice without her permission. The men are accused of bilking their investors of $15 million. Watkins Sr., who is 75 years old, will spend 5 years in prison. His son will serve a little less than half of that. Both are being made to pay everybody back. Eben Brown, Fox News.
A Colombian man was arrested at Barcelona's international airport after a half a kilo of cocaine was found hidden under an oversized toupee. Spanish police say the man looked nervous and had an unusually large hairpiece under his hat as he got off his flight from Bogota. That cocaine worth about $34,000 on the street. I'm Rich Dennison, and this is Fox News.
Your news, your town. Your station. KVFD News when it breaks.
Good afternoon from the Jerry Sheeter Newsroom. I'm Rob Jones. An excessive heat watch is in effect from tomorrow afternoon through Saturday evening. Highs are expected in the 90s with dew points in the 70s. That's likely to lead to heat index values of 100 to 110 degrees tomorrow and Friday. Little relief is expected during the night with the lows in the mid to upper 70s. The impact of that could be heat-related illnesses that could occur due to the prolonged period of heat and humidity. A helicopter used for commercial crop dusting crashed yesterday evening just south of the Council Bluffs Airport. Council Bluffs Police and Pottawatomie County Sheriff's deputies responded to the scene. Pottawatomie County Sheriff Jeff Dinker said the crash happened when the helicopter tried to land on the back of a truck while attempting to refill with chemicals. Investigators are still trying to figure out what exactly caused the crash. The pilot, whose name was not released, was transported to the hospital in Council Bluffs with minor injuries. The Pottawatomie County Sheriff's Office says they are working in conjunction with federal authorities on the case. A triple homicide is under investigation in Des Moines. Radio Iowa's Matt Kelly with more.
Des Moines police were called to an apartment complex near downtown about 11 Tuesday night, where 3 bodies were found in a single unit. The victims are said to be an adult female and 2 children, a boy and a girl. All 3 lived in the apartment and all 3 sustained gunshot injuries. Autopsies are planned. No names or ages were released. Police say they have identified who's responsible for the deaths, adding there is no ongoing threat. Radio Iowa, I'm Matt Kelly.
From Radio Iowa, the state of Iowa has won a large grant from the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency to improve water quality. Iowa Agriculture Secretary Mike Negg says the federal funds will be used to construct wetlands.
This grant is just over $1 million. It's going to be targeted on some counties in eastern Iowa, around the Cedar Rapids, Cedar Falls, and Waterloo areas. But the things that we learn by doing those projects are things that we will be able to apply in other parts of the state.
Negg says building these wetlands is a key piece toward implementing Iowa's nutrient reduction strategy. It's a science and technology-based framework meant to assess and reduce nutrients in Iowa's waterways and in the Gulf of Mexico.
As we look to implement Iowa's nutrient reduction strategy, we need to build more of these wetlands, and this will help us do that.
The projects are working to link Iowa's diverse population bases.
We are connecting the dots between the urban areas and rural areas. And so it's cities and rural communities working together. We like that approach, and we think that it will have application across the state. So while these are focused in eastern Iowa, we're going to be learning things that we will be applying across the state.
The state ag department is talking with landowners and hopes to break ground on the wetlands projects next year. In sports, the Fort Dodge Dodgers softball team are regional champions. They defeated Ankeny last night 3-0 in a game that you heard on the Eagle 92.1. The game was scoreless until the 6th. The Dodgers were able to scratch across 3 runs, the first of which came when T.K. Doster scored off a squeeze bunt by Aubrey Davis. After that, first baseman Logan Snetzer homered to right center field to make it 3-0. She broke the Dodgers' single-season career home run record. Here's Coach Andy Adams on Logan's home run.
And she does. I tell you what, I just felt the energy when she got up, and everybody did. And once she hit it, I knew she's got that power.
Freshman pitcher Jalen Adams, superb on the hill again, going the distance for a complete game shutout, allowing just 2 hits and striking out 6 along the way. The Dodgers now 34-6. They'll move on to the state tournament next week, 16-1 in their last 17, having won 10 in a row. The St. Edmunds Gales concluded their season last night, falling 7-0 to Sioux Central in Peterson in the second round of the playoffs. That's your Alpha Media News and Sports update from the Jerry Sheeter Newsroom. I'm Rob Jones.
Here's the AM 1400 KVFD Weatherology forecast. An excessive heat watch begins at 1 p.m. tomorrow afternoon and continues until 7 p.m. Saturday night. 87 this afternoon, under partly cloudy skies, southeast winds 10 to 20 miles per hour. 74 tonight, chance for scattered storms. Chance for scattered thunderstorms tomorrow, high of 95. From the Weatherology Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki. Currently, it's 74.
Blue Ribbon, Pelham Waters, your water pro since 1949.
Do you have questions about your water? What is a whole home filter? Is my softener working or not? Can I get rid of that red stain around the sink? I'm Brian with Blue Ribbon Pelham Waters. We're here to fix problem water. We'll work with you to find the right solution for you. We've been serving the Fort Dodge area since 1949. Let us serve your water treatment needs. Sales, service, rentals. Blue Ribbon Pelham Waters, your complete water store.
The Pink Tag sale is going on now at the General Store. Come in and take 50% off everything with the Pink Tag. This is the perfect time to shop for summer. From shorts, sandals, and tanks to skirts, dress shirts, and capris, the General Store has something for everyone. Look for the Pink Tag and save 50%. And remember, everything at the General Store is tax-free, and all proceeds go toward helping people in our community. Hurry in now and save 50% on everything with the Pink Tag at the General Store. 12 North 25th, Fort Dodge.
Michael Devine at AM 1400 KVFD.
Listen to this.
Making radio great again.
All right, this is AM 1400 KVFD, the voice for Dodge. I'm Michael Devine. We're going to tell the truth, make it matter. We're never going to be boring. Truth is, it's going to be hotter than hell here for the next few days. As a matter of fact, there is a heat advisory in effect clear till next Sunday. Clear